Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video, we're going to take a look at all of the Space Marine Combat Patrol box sets. Now, there are a bunch of different Combat Patrol Space Marine box sets, and some of them are labelled as Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Space Wolves, Deathwatch, and many besides, but most of them can be used for all of the different Space Marine chapters. There's no reason that the Blood Angel one is specifically for Blood Angels. It doesn't contain any Blood Angel specific units, and could easily be used for a Raven Guard, Iron Hands, Black Dragons, or even a Blood Angel successor chapter like Angels Vermilion or the Blood Drinkers itself. And so what we're going to aim to do in this video today is we're going to instruct you on what we think is the best value one of all these different Space Marine Combat Patrol box sets that will suit regardless of what Space Marine chapter you're choosing to play, whether it is one of the founding chapters like the Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Ultramarines, White Scars, etc., or indeed a successor chapter that has specific rules like the Black Templars or Emperor Spears, or even a chapter that's a successor, so something like the Marines Errant or the Blood Drinkers, or the Black Dragons, or the Genesis chapter, or anything like that. We're going to talk about which one we think is the best overall purchase for your start of your Space Marine force. So with that all said and out of the way, we're going to rank these from worst to best, and let's get cracking on into the list. Starting with number 6, and well, this one has to be set at number 6 for me. It's the Black Templars Combat Patrol, and the main reason this one falls to number 6 is simply because it contains Black Templar only units. Now, you could certainly use these units and many of these models as other things inside, but there are some models that are going to be harder to find representations for in other sets of Space Marines. Now, if you're building someone that's a Crusading Space Marine chapter and just want to use the Black Templar rules, maybe someone like a Crusading chapter like the Iron Knights or the White Templars or any of them, this could certainly work as a box set for you. But contents-wise, you get a Primaris Marshal, which is a Black Templar only character, though this could easily represent a Captain or a Lieutenant model if you want. A Crusader squad with a Sword Brother and 5 Initiates. The Initiates and the Sword Brother are really easy to just make count as a normal squad of Intercessors or something like that. But the Neophytes, they do become a little bit harder to use. They're quite large compared to normal scouts, but you could use them as normal scouts if you wish. You then get 5 regular Intercessors and a Pulsar, and then your Black Templars upgrade frame and Black Templars transfer sheet. All of this, it's not a terrible set. Like, you've got a cool transport there for your Intercessors, for your Crusader squad, you've got a character. This isn't bad. The reason this is number 6 is just because it has Black Templar specific units, and unless you're building a chapter that you want to have somewhat similar feel to Black Templars, I could never recommend this as one of the ones to go and grab out straight from the get-go. Next up in number 5, we've got the Deathwatch Combat Patrol. Now, this does have some decent units inside the box set I really like. Intercessors is a really good, solid troops choice, and the Apothecary and Lieutenant are both useful pieces. However, for me, I think having the 2 smaller characters just doesn't weigh up against some of the other box sets getting a vehicle of some description, whether that be a walker or a transport. I think they're just better options to start off with for your Space Marine force. This one is definitely something to maybe grab a little bit later, and maybe it's better as your secondary purchase box set, as it gives you a cool elite unit in aggressors, a good solid troops choice. Just those first 2 characters maybe aren't where you want to start with. You're probably wanting that vehicle more to get used to how vehicles play in the game to begin with. I think that's the main reason I popped this number 5, but this probably pops really high on the list of if we were doing the second box set you should grab. That being said, the Deathwatch upgrade frame gives you a power sword, so you've got that there to addition into your Intercessor squads, and you've got Deathwatch shoulder pads in there as well, which is pretty cool. Deathwatch are super fun to paint. I just don't think this one has quite the variety of different things to add in, and with the 2 sort of characters, even though one's elite, I know, I just don't think it's quite as good a starting point as some of the other box sets we'll talk about. And so in number 4, we have the Space Marines Combat Patrol. And now the reason why this one is at number 4 is mainly because it is a easy to build kit, or rather a single option build kit. This was the half of a previous available dual box set, and so all the models inside this box set are set in stone as to what they are. You can certainly do some conversions if you find some extra bits and do some chopping and changing, but it does require more work, and straight out of the box, this does hinder, I guess, your options of what you want to build. That being said, it does contain some cool models, and some useful models in that. You've got a Primaris Lieutenant in Phobos armor, and then 10 Primaris Infiltrators, 3 Suppressors, 3 Eliminators, and a Primaris Impulsor. So you do have a good variety of different units. You've got a fast, heavy option in the suppressors. The eliminators are a great sort of anti-character unit, and your infiltrators are a really useful unit to have in your army, able to get up nice and close, along with your Primaris Lieutenant and Phobos armor as well. The Impulsor perhaps doesn't go along too well with many, but if you're going to separate your infiltrators, he's potentially a good transport for them. And so you've got a bit of everything inside this box set. You do get quite a lot, which is why I probably rate it, even though being, I guess, a single build kit, of all of them, this is a little bit better than the two previous, just because of the options and how many models and units you're going to get inside this box set. For that's why this one sits so high, and probably doesn't sit quite as high. If it had full options available to all the units inside this, it'd probably rate a little bit higher. Next up, we have the Space Wolves box set. Now, this is a pretty cool one, I will admit. You've got a Primaris Lieutenant in there and 10 Primaris Intercessors, which is a solid start to any Space Marine army. 5 Primaris Reavers, and if you're going down the Space Wolves route, or indeed something like the Wolf Spear, or one of the many successors that exist in the Indominus Crusade, you've got some Reavers, which can also be built as Hounds of Mordecai, which is a Space Wolf specific unit. And then you've also got an Invicta Tactical Warsuit, a vehicle, but maybe not the best one available to Space Marines at the current point in time as well. This is a solid core. You've got 2 units, potentially 3 if you build your Intercessors as 2 units. You've got a vehicle there to learn how vehicles work and all that sort of stuff. And 2 Space Wolf upgrade frames. And the Space Wolf upgrade frame is not a terrible one. You're going to get a couple of cool bits and pieces you can use for the model there. I believe you get a nice little power axe in it. So you've got a couple of little options there. And then you've also got the bits and pieces that come with the Hounds of Mordecai upgrade pack as well, which is pretty cool. So you've got some bits and pieces you can use across to sort of upgrade your models, which is really nice, and sort of build whatever you want. This one for me is a solid box set, maybe not the best one, but a decent one to begin your Space Marines force with. Coming in at number 2, I really like this as a starting place for your Space Marine force, and this works well with different Space Marine chapters, especially if you're looking to sort of have some librarians in your force. Now, this isn't necessarily the best one, but I do think you've got a wide variety of good units inside this box set, along with some cool combinations of units that can work well as well. So you've got a Primaris Librarian to lead your force, a really solid HQ option for your Space Marine force, which is really, really nice. And then you've got 5 Intercessors and 5 Incursors. These are 2 different troops choice available to your Space Marines, which is really cool because you can use these and sort of play different ways and sort of see which one of these 2 units you like and you want to expand into more later with your other Space Marine purchases. However, where I really like it is you get the Aggressors in here as well, which are a great elite unit and great at close quarters fighting, which work well, fantastically well, in fact, with the Impulsor inside the box set, which is going to enable them to get up close and personal really easy with the Space Marines. You could put that Librarian and the Impulsor in, and the Aggressors, sorry, in the Impulsor and transport them around the battlefield, allowing them to do the most amount of damage possible, or indeed stick your Librarian in the backfield with things like your Intercessors, allowing him to benefit them, or your Incursors. But you've got a really solid set of models here available to you with the Blood Angels box set. For me, I do think this is probably one of the better ones that we definitely have available to us out of the Space Marine Combat Patrol box sets. You even get 2 of the Blood Angels upgrade sprue, which is pretty cool inside the box set. This is going to just give you a couple of your Blood Angel shoulder pads and stuff like that, which is nice, but also just going to give you an extra chainsword, some other cool little bits, and some additional head options as well for your Space Marine army, which is nice. So you can really create some interesting models. And number 1, for me, I think this is the best Combat Patrol box set you can start your Space Marine force with. Everything in it is extremely useful. First of all, you've got a Primaris Chaplain, who is a fantastic option for your Space Marines, especially if you're going with a combat focus. He's got some amazing abilities to really just bolster up your units. You then get 5 Primaris Intercessors. Intercessors are just amazingly solid as a troops choice. And then 3 Inceptors give you a cool fast attack option as well. They're really good, can lay down a decent amount of heavy firepower with the ability to move that firepower around the battlefield as well. But for me, where this box set really excels is the fact you get a Redemptor Dreadnought in it. Redemptor Dreadnoughts are just absolutely amazing. They're one of the best things Space Marines have going for them. They can just do a ton of damage. It's a great vehicle to have to start your Space Marine force, and there's something iconic about Dreadnoughts and Space Marines. For me, this is the perfect option. You've got a fast attack, a HQ, a troops, and an elite choice all wrapped up in the single one box set for you. You also get your Dark Angels upgrade sprue and the transfer sheet as well, which is pretty cool. But this is going to serve you well in really small starter games for your 40k army of Space Marines. I don't think you're going to find a better starter set really for any of the Space Marines than the Dark Angels box set. I really do think this is the best one they have available. The upgrade sprue is also going to give you the options like a power sword as well, some cool other helmet and unhelmeted options, along with some cool little shield bits and stuff like that as well. So a nice solid box set to have for your Space Marine force. Well, thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, if you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fun little community here, you can do so by joining our Discord server, which is linked down in the description of the video. Also, if you'd like to help support the channel more financially, you can do so either by joining our Patreon or YouTube members, of which you'll find both the links of both of them down in the video's description as well. As a special thank you to everyone who does support the channel via Patreon and YouTube members, we'd like to give a shout out to them all. So a special thanks to our Patreons, Christian Weir, James Soren, Greenskins Gaming, AJC, Kenny Lowell, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Cure Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Anton Nilsson, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater and Samuel. And a special shout out to our YouTube members as well: Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Chris Rollis, Ronya, Vinny, Lockloric, the Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Revenar, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Sean Scott, DS, and Ariana Edwards. And a special thanks lastly to, first of all, Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork you can see pictured here for the channel. And a special shout out to Xmorphic, who does all the amazing background work for our Discord server. You're both absolute legends. Thank you all for watching once again. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay safe everyone, stay well, most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.